years and has gotten their health insurance through Pays Boa. Our mission is very simple. We are an association of business officers for business officers. And our logo, if you notice our logo, it is geese flying in a V formation. And that is where we get our mission, where our stronger schools and larger schools help all of the other schools. And we take our story from the lessons of the geese, and that's how they fly in a V formation, and those in the back are encouraging the geese in the front. We have our four-legged stool that we work with, and that is leveraged buying power through our group purchasing, our health benefit trust, which I'm going to go into in a little more detail, and our professional development, our programs to help you, as well as best practices through communication. Benefit Trust was formed in 2013 to help the schools, schools of all sizes, stay within and be able to offer health insurance to their employees. The Affordable Care Act made the association form this trust so that we are looked at as one entity in the eyes of the insurance companies. And that way all schools, no matter their size, are able to get their health insurance through us. It was a mammoth effort, but all of the schools, 144 schools in the association who buy their health benefits through the trust have worked together to make this a very smooth transition. Our association is governed by a board, and there are committees for each of the consortia. And the consortia are the employee benefits, business insurance, and the purchasing consortium. And each of those have committees made up of business officers. We are located in Radnor, in the Radnor Municipal Building, a beautiful new building right off the Blue Route, and we have access to a beautiful and high-tech meeting space on the first floor where most of our meetings are held. Recently, well, it's not as recent as it was, we recreated our website, and that's what we're going to show you today, all of the resources that you have at your fingertips. So I'm going to pass this over to Al, and he's going to give you an overview of all of our purchasing initiatives.
And just real quick to add, if anyone has any questions throughout the presentation, you can just write them in the question box, and we'll answer them as soon as possible. All right, Al?
Okay, can you see my screen? Okay. Okay. Great. Get to the website. Good morning, everybody. It's Al Greeno, and I am very happy to be able to talk to you about the Purchasing Consortium activities. Before I get started, and we're going to go through the consortium listing as it appears on our website, so I'll go to that group and then say a couple of things, one of which Emily has touched on. Typically, once a school joins our organization, the consortium and purchasing activities are voluntary. And so schools make a decision about participation, but each formal program has the right to establish its own ground rules to assure its effectiveness. As Emily suggested, each one is guided by a steering committee with the leadership from the board members who have oversight responsibilities. It's also important to know that the operations and administration of each of these groups are performed typically by an expert consultant. So it's a question of having a team of people working on your behalf to develop these programs. And as a general rule, each program has an annual meeting to facilitate communication, results, plans, and information to participants. So let's take a look at them a little bit one by one. On the list, the first one on the top left-hand corner is the business insurance. The business insurance group was organized in 1997. It has about 40 members and who pay roughly $3.5 million in premiums a year. Applicants are subject to acceptance in the group. So if you're interested, you apply and your risk profile is evaluated by the management, the steering committee and the team of consultants they use. To participate in the group, there are logical risk management requirements like an active safety committee in the interest of reducing accidents and claims. A couple of things are important for you to know about this program. The program has an unusual design to the extent that there is the potential of dividends based on claims history. And in fact, there have been a history of them in recent years. It's also important to understand that this program is designed to be very specific to the interests of schools, and the coverages are reviewed routinely so that they are customized to address the most important risk of our independent schools. Each of the websites is designed so that the next page has vendor partners, and so if you want to look at the participants in that arena who are providing that kind of support, we'll just go to one, for example, and I'll log in at this point on that one. You can see who they are. So that's just for your information. Next, business services. Business services is a conglomeration of agreements that are available to all members without conditions. So just being a member of PACE-BOA qualifies you to use any of the agreements which we have negotiated, which typically involve the definition of services and prices. We are always building this group and expanding it so that suggestions from others are always valued, keeping in mind that the range and size of the group is pretty substantial, and we are typically trying to find the best vendor in class. I'll move down to employee benefits next. Emily has touched on that, and that's primarily the health insurance program, okay, the health benefit trust, which she talked about, which is in something of a transition. I think it's important to know that traditionally that has been a program that was contracted with Blue Cross Blue Shield, which meant it was limited to Philadelphia and the 5 surrounding counties. But as the trust is organized and looking towards the future, there are many other possibilities that this form of organization may provide. You'll see that under that umbrella are the health and dental programs as well as retirement services. Let me give you a bit of commentary about retirement services. The new regulations and requirements have meant that schools may need help from vendors in addition to TIAA-CREF, who is the dominant provider of plans in our group. A small committee has worked for nearly 2 years to sort out the meaning of the new regulations and then vet many vendors in the marketplace to find the most qualified to provide services to school members. And the result is their identification of these 3 vendors. So if you feel like you need some help in the retirement plan, looking at the administration, looking at the testing and practical things like that, this is a group that has been vetted and we feel are qualified to help you. Moving on, the next listing is the Purchasing Consortium. The Purchasing Consortium was organized in 1998. It has now 90 members and takes in new members all the time. We have 27 agreements in place. The vendors are selected based on quality, service, and price, with a significant emphasis on equal service for all members regardless of size. This is a significant fact when you consider that the average size of the schools in the purchasing consortium is only 300 students. So in fact, they are relatively small entities who have a significant advantage by working together. Joining the purchasing consortium involves completion of an application, which basically involves a commitment to use the consortium vendors to the extent possible. If you were going to look at the vendors themselves, click on products and services like this and like this, and you'll see a listing will come up that gives you a couple of options. These are the vendors that are involved. There's also a useful tab called categories. We have some restrictions. We don't have word search capabilities on our website, so we've done the best we could to categorize the vendors that would be providing services in these given category areas. I'm just going to click on this one to give you an idea of the kind of information that's there. And this is the very best place for you to go when you're looking for someone who can help you in a given area, to find out if they're there, who they are, and how to reach them, because this is much easier to maintain in terms of information for you than any other resource that we have. The Purchasing Consortium has an annual meeting each year. I just want to give you a brief look at the history. We have just completed yesterday the reports for the year ended July 31st, 2015. The volume will be about the same as it was last year, or about 7.2 million. This is the application document I mentioned, with the wording highlighted in red, which in effect says, listen, to make this work and to give Al something to negotiate with, we will pledge to use the vendors to the extent possible. And so that's the background behind how we operate. This will give you an overall view. This is last year's report of the kind of savings and volume with each of the vendors, and these are the products and services that are done by the consortium. And the savings, my estimating savings, comes from my history or the test results when we originally established the agreement. This slide just says, is a little instruction how you can get to the information that we just talked about and went through together. Back to, okay. Lastly, energy purchasing. We've been in the energy purchasing business since the early 90s, but in fact it was re-energized in its current form in 2008. We have roughly 75 schools in this group, and we were well organized, particularly to take advantage of full energy rate deregulation in Pennsylvania in January 1st of 2011. It's important to understand that the primary objective of this group, as set by its business manager and plant manager steering committee, is price stability and budget certainty with good pricing. Our agreements have tended to be typically 2 to 3 years, and they also tend towards accomplishing fixed price arrangements, because obviously that will help us achieve those objectives. The current contracts run through June of 2018. There's a full set of documents on the website. In terms of an application, essentially it gives us the right to negotiate and execute contracts on behalf of the member schools. We process new members into this group all the time. Just for a moment, I'll take you back to my slideshow and show you what the participation is in the purchase of natural gas, which is shown here, and then electricity. We're doing $5 to $6 million worth of purchasing in energy. And we have been in a market since we got started that's been declining. So it's been a close call in terms of value, but if this market had gone up in any way, or when it does, we will have gained relatively more of a price advantage. Lastly, I want to mention the sustainability group because it's a group that we are very dedicated to supporting. We created an affinity group for sustainability activities about 2 years ago. It was derived from originally a farm to school program, which we started a couple of years before. The goal of the program is to support sustainability within the schools and the teaching of its principles in the classroom. It's a small group of people at the moment dedicated to principles of sustainability. We are building the group all the time with representatives from our various school members. And like other affinity groups, which Emily will talk to you a little bit more about in a moment, they have their own listserv, which facilitates communication and sharing. Thanks for listening to me. It's time for me to turn the podium back to Colleen and to Emily. Thank you.
I was muted, sorry. We don't have any questions yet, but if you'd like to ask any questions, you can type them in the question box as we go along. Now Emily will talk about HR services. Or data survey. Oh, the data survey, sorry.
You've probably been wondering why you've been getting so many emails recently about the data survey. This annual survey that that PAYSBOA conducts every year is one of the most important initiatives that we offer. This year it has been significantly expanded to give you even more data than prior years. This is very important for you to complete to the best of your ability, because only participants who do the survey have access to the data afterwards. This will help you to provide peer information for benchmarking purposes and strategic planning purposes. I'm going to show you just a couple of charts that I quickly put together just to show you that you can compare, for instance, your tuition to other schools. Faculty and staff salaries are available to you, enrollment information, vendor information, endowment information, debt. All the survey is very comprehensive, and you can compare your school to your peers and get a very sophisticated charts and graphs that you can show your finance committee you look like a rock star. Board members eat this stuff up, so you can really make yourself very valuable with a lot of information that you can provide to them. To that end, this month on October 15th, Howard Thiebel will be coming to talk to PAYSBOA members about how to communicate financial information to your board. And then on November 4th, Sasha Lippman from Measuring Success will come to Philadelphia to talk about how to manipulate this data and give vital information to your head of school, to your administrators, and to your board members.
Okay, the next thing we'll talk about is Teach Philadelphia. Teach Philadelphia is a paperless recruitment tool that allows you to post an unlimited amount of jobs and enjoy full access to a large candidate pool while saving you time and money. It was created for Pays Boa member schools by Pays Boa, and it's currently serving 25 member schools. This is the Teach Philadelphia website. It's powered by SchoolSpring and maintained by Pays Boa. So if you're familiar with SchoolSpring, this is what that looks like. It's a job recruitment website. Because SchoolSpring hosts it, applicants from all over the country can search through SchoolSpring and find Teach Philadelphia jobs. So when you're posting your jobs on Teach Philadelphia, they're also being posted on SchoolSpring. So a larger amount of people will find the job. To sign up to join Teach Philadelphia, you just visit teachphilly.com and you click this button here. Also on Teach Philly, you can see the current openings from our member schools and see which schools are members, explore this site a little bit. When you sign up, all you have to do is click on the Join Teach Philadelphia button. Your account will be ready right away, basically, and then you just send the payment to Pays Boa, and you'll be ready to go. For SchoolSpring, most of your job postings and activities will happen on SchoolSpring website, and then after you put the job on SchoolSpring, it'll automatically load onto teachphiladelphia.com. So your member capabilities are that you can post the job to the job board. You just post what category, what subject you're looking for, the job description, and how the person can contact you. And then you can also search nationally for applicants on SchoolSpring. So you can invite applicants on SchoolSpring to apply to your position if you would like to do that. SchoolSpring provides weekly training sessions if you need more familiarity with how to navigate the system. And it gives you an exposure to applicants, as I said. And they also send daily emails to applicants to let them know if a new job has been posted. So you get more exposure that way as well. Jobs are posted to teachphiladelphia.com, schoolspring.com, as well as 11 other websites. SchoolSpring automatically pushes out your job to other websites, so you receive more exposure that way as well. And it's affordable as well. This is the price tier, and that's just once a year. And there's no finder's fee. So if you hire someone from Teach Philadelphia, you don't have to pay extra money. And that's about all for Teach Philadelphia. I'll hand it back over to Emily.
Within the past year, Pays Boa has partnered with a ERISA firm called Fisher & Phillips, and they have ERISA attorneys on staff, and we have them on retainer. And they do periodic programs for us, and they are available to all of our members for HR-related questions, and they provide guidance. Also available to Pays Boa, they have a discounted rate if you are in need of more in-depth counsel, or if you want them to review your handbook, or if you have other HR-related issues that you want them to get involved with. They also have a resource. Are we on that? They have a resource page that has all of the up-to-date state and federal compliance forms, as well as a lot of other terrific information for you or your HR person to use, job descriptions, newsletter, and all sorts of employment advice. So this is available to you at no charge, and you should really take advantage of all of the information that you have. This can save you a lot of headaches if you are looking to find information about for your handbook or for a job description. You'll find everything right here at your fingertips. Susan Garrett is our local representative. She comes periodically to offer programs on HR-related topics. She's actually coming next week on October 7th, and she's going to be talking about the latest in compliance on background checks and also transgender, how to be sensitive to transgender issues if you have them in your school. Next is professional development. We are very proud of all of the programs that we offer our business officers and their staff. We have monthly programs that really touch on all of the topics that you are probably dealing with on a day-to-day basis. In addition, all of our consortia have annual meetings that are mandatory for the members of, if you are a member of that consortia. The Health Benefit Trust has an annual meeting in the summer. The Business Insurance Group has their annual meeting in November. The Purchasing Consortium invites all of their vendors to a January meeting where you can meet the vendor and talk about to them face-to-face. The association has their annual meeting in April, and we usually get a very interesting keynote speaker, and we have it as a off-site at maybe a museum or someplace very interesting. We bring to you experts to help bring best practices to our schools. We also conduct workshops and panel discussions here in our office. Our vendors come periodically when they have updates so that you can see and hear what they're up to. We work in partnership with EduTech, and they do training here in our office periodically. And we have a training room especially set up for them. We also have a symposium in the summer that is dedicated to our small schools, and they typically bring a team of administrators from their school, and the topic is very targeted to small school issues. And lastly, I'm going to mention our affinity group. Our veterans, the plant managers, have been meeting for many years over lunch, and Al brings in vendors of interest to them, and they are very appreciative to learn about the latest in energy, the latest in lighting, a whole myriad of topics that the plant managers have interest in. Again, the HR folks meet with Susan Garrett, and they talk about HR-related topics, sustainability, and also tech group meets, and they learn together about all of the tech-related latest information. And we have a whole myriad of resources for each one of our affinity groups on our website. There are questions about this?
No questions yet. Guess they're crystal clear. Okay, lastly will go over our communication portion of our website. So if you go under Member Resources, you'll see a list of different ways, different communications that we have with our members. First, we can look at the listserv archives. Now, the listserv, you're probably already a part of the listserv, or at least one of them. If you're not, you can just email me, let me know, and I can add you to the list. If you ever want to ask a question, but you think that maybe someone already asked the question before on the listserv, you can just go to the listserv archives section, and you can see the past conversations. These are from 2014. If you want access to the more recent archives, you can just click on the instructions and follow the instructions, and you'll be able to ask all the questions and answers that were discussed before. We also send out a bi-weekly Friday flyer. You've probably already received that as well. If there's ever a time when you can't find a copy of the Friday flyer and you really want to reread an article, or you just remember seeing something about a topic in a flyer, you can go to the flyer archive. It's all organized by year, and then has every article that's in every edition of the Friday flyer outlined here, and you just click on whichever one you would like to read. There's also a list of webinars and videos. Webinars and videos are usually recorded, like this meeting right now is being recorded. We record many of our professional development meetings, and then we put them all online for you to see. There is a vendor referral list, which a lot of people find very useful. It's a list compiled mostly by our plant managers on the Plant Managers listserv. And we just compile it all into this list so everyone can view it. These vendors are not under contract with PAYS-BOA, but they were recommended by PAYS-BOA members. So if you ever need a service and you're looking for a good recommendation, these are pretty solid. And then this is for SurveyMonkey. You can feel free to use the SurveyMonkey account if you ever need to send a survey out. Lastly, we have a library where we compile a lot of our resources. Most of the resources are from meetings. So let's say you are at a human resources meeting and you want to either view the recorded presentation or just view someone's slides. You can go to the library and find them that way. You can also, if you're just looking for a recording, you can go down to the bottom of the page and just see all the webinars and videos we have available. An easier way to get to this, if you go to the home page, there's a button for the library right there, so you can just go right to it. It's a pretty popular destination for a lot of people that come to the website. The last thing I want to talk about is the calendar. If you're wondering what events are coming up, or if you want to register for an event, you can visit our calendar. Another way you can see upcoming events is if you just go to this block. This is upcoming events, and it will take you right to the event description. So if you wanted to attend the Fall Harvest Expo on October 20th, you can click on that and you can register. And that's about it. Does anyone have any questions for us about anything that we've talked about? Al's telling me to remind everyone that there's no cost to most of these services except for your annual dues. So most of this is available. The only thing that costs a little extra is the purchasing consortium and Teach Philadelphia if you would like to sign up for that, but even those are very affordable. So make sure you take advantage of all these resources that we offer. I see no one has any questions right now. If you ever do have any questions, you can always, all of our contact information is on the website. If you ever need to contact me, Emily, or Al for anything, feel free.
I also want to make a plug for the documentary screenings at the end of the month of Most Likely to Succeed. We're offering 2 public screenings on October 26th and 27th. 27th and 28th. And then there's a VIP screening on the 29th that only heads of school and business officers and board chairs are invited to. A most interesting documentary, which will be followed by a panel discussion with educational thought leaders in the region. So I hope that you sign up and you make sure that your school communities are aware of these screenings at the end of the month. I thank you all for spending the time with us this morning. I want to suggest that if you would like Al and I to come out to visit your school and give you a more in-depth review of what PAYSOA offers, we're more than happy to do that. We really enjoy coming out to see your school and to meet with you individually. So do not hesitate to ask for a visit from Al and me. Thank you again for spending this time with us, and again, take advantage of all of the resources that we have for you. We hope that this makes your job a bit easier. Have a good weekend, everybody.